Welcome back to Venus Perspectives. I am very proud tonight to be with the famous Bill Dunnam. Welcome,
hey, how
Bill.
you doing?
Welcome to Venus Perspectives. So, you are a famous person.
No.
You've got some famous songs.
I think I qualify for being a has-been.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. So your biggest hit was Judy in Disguise, which I think I hear playing in the background.
Could be.
Yep.
I don't hear it, but
there it
anyway.
Is. There it is. And Secret Agent Man?
Well, that was Johnny. That was Johnny Rivers.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you play on the song?
No, I didn't play on the recording, but I worked with Johnny for a long time.
Okay. Well, let's go back a little bit. What was your first instrument that you played?
Okay, I started off when I was very young, and I would basically start off as a singer. And then I gravitated to the guitar because I wanted to be a rock and roller. And
don't we all?
And then, you know, I got different instruments, and you know, you progressively get better. But I was so fortunate because when I was just 17, just still in high school, I was kind of discovered by a good friend of mine, Dick Holler.
Dick Holler, yes.
And he asked.
You won a bunch of Grammys?
Dick won several Grammys. He's written songs for everybody, but he wrote songs for Cher and Frank Sinatra. And
awesome.
But his biggest song was Abraham, Martin, and John.
Right, right.
And he had another hit that I did play on the original of, and the original was called The Red Baron.
Oh, of course.
And then he rewrote it, and he called it Snoopy versus the Red Baron. Oh. And it was recorded by the Royal Guardsmen, and it was. I think it went #1 too. It was a big hit. I mean, it was a silly song, but it was a big hit. And the funny thing was that Dick was a buff of airplanes and the Red Baron. So that's how this whole thing originated.
There you go. So you started your career, would you say, when you were 17?
Oh, yeah, and that was the Rockets, which is a
Johnny and the Rockets?
No, just the Rockets. Totally unknown group by today's standards.
Right.
But out of it came myself, it came Jimmy Clanton,
right,
was one of the guitar players and singers, and then Dick Holler. And we did have hits because Jimmy was the singer, and he recorded I Trusted You was the first one, moderate hit. Then Just a Dream went up into like the top 20s.
Just a Dream, everybody loves that song.
And then he did a whole bunch more. One of them that everybody always asks me for is Venus in Blue Jeans.
Oh, you get asked to play that now?
Yeah, and that was one that we recorded back then.
So now you go out and you play piano, right?
I'm playing piano, doing a single, and I've kind of gravitated towards more pop music now, but I still, you know, play some of the old rock and roll songs.
So we could call you up and say, can you come and play at this bar, and you
absolutely.
come out and play? All right, we'll have to flash your card on the screen.
Wherever there's a piano, I play.
Awesome. So tell me about touring back when you toured with the groups like this.
Well,
what was it like?
As we progressed, when we first started off, we toured in a Volkswagen bus.
That's my question. Did you go in the bus? Was it a little car? Did you have to jam in there? Did you sleep on top of the speakers?
I heard Paul McCartney the other night make a comment to someone that he says it was a question about their group, the Beatles, and he says, were we good mates? And he said, of course. Think of all the miles we traveled laying on top of each other. Because when we traveled, you know, you'd lay all the instruments down in the back of that bus, and then you'd sleep on top of it.
That's what I hear.
And, you know, I think back to those days, and it's just a miracle that I'm still walking and talking.
So how many years did you tour?
Well, my whole career, but where it really took off was when I left the Rockets and joined the Playboys. And I was the main singer with the Playboys, and we had I Just Want to Be Loved was a good hit for us. That was I was a singer, and then we had Back to School, and then we had All Those Raindrops. Look at All Those Raindrops. Now that went to about number 22 on Billboard, and then after that then John Fred came back to the group, and so we had two singers. And we recorded Judy in Disguise, and that went #1.
That's awesome.
And the
How does that
big
feel?
change. Oh well, you don't really feel it.
Because you don't know until afterwards.
No, you
right?
don't feel it. I mean, you don't wake up every morning and say, "Hey, I'm a star." You just wake up like. What was more fun for us was to play jobs with like. James Brown.
With horns and stuff?
Otis Redding.
Yeah.
I mean, if we ever got on the stage with them or in the same nightclub, to us that was great.
Are there any videotapes?
You know, I don't have videotapes of those, but I do have boxes of tapes at home, and I do have one that's really dear to me where I had Bobby Blue Bland singing backup. Oh. He sang backup on one of our recordings.
That's amazing.
Oh, and they were great guys.
That's amazing.
Just great guys. November the 1st, I'm going back to New Orleans, and every year they have a reunion of all of the groups and all the musicians that came out of that area.
Awesome.
And,
so you're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. And
can I ask, you took a break from music for a while, right?
I took a break.
And why did you do that? Did you just get tired of it, or?
Well, I went through the same thing that everybody went through. I was married. I had 2 children. And
you needed a day job.
Well, the thing was that everybody around me convinced me, and I believed it, that when I got to be I think it was 28, I couldn't be a rock and roller anymore. I couldn't play high school dances. I mean, I was in the wrong era.
That's wrong.
And so
you did what you thought you had to do.
I had a college degree, and my first job was right here in Chicago. And then I went back to school and got an MBA, and I stayed in the corporate life for quite a while.
That is amazing. You got up and did the 9-to-5 thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I never really got completely away from music.
Right.
I lived in California for a long time, as well as Johnny did and Dick. We were all living out there at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I found a really great job down in Newport Beach, playing guitar and singing at a nightclub. And I had that for like 3 years.
And that's heaven, right?
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Go to the same place every day, not have to travel, and yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what else would you like to know?
Well, what was the worst place you ever played in?
Oh, you saw the Blues Brothers?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And sometimes we would book a job. Don't ask me how we booked them, in a place that looked just like that, with the chicken wire and everything. And the one danger or the bad thing that happened was, as you got a little bit of notoriety, a little fame, a little bit of fame, mm-hmm. The guys in these clubs would always want to beat you up. And so, I mean, that was like their big thrill, was to beat up the band.
You mean physically beat you up?
Physically beat you up, yeah.
Why?
And just to, I don't know.
So they could say, I built
a little ego thing,
That's terrible.
So that was, as soon as we started having hits, we also hired 2 bodyguards. And
oh no, that would be the last thing.
I mean, this sounds silly, but we hired bodyguards because they would stand at both ends of the stages, and nobody wanted to pass them. I mean, they were good.
Good. And what was the best place you ever played?
Oh, I think probably I can think of so many, but I remember the first time I went to Nashville, and I was involved. I was a songwriter and a producer for another artist, and I was producing his record, and that was a huge thrill because I got to meet so many stars in Nashville. I remember meeting Bob. Oh gosh, I can't even think of all the names, but they were just regular guys. Just they'd shake your hand. Here, let me play you a tune, or whatever. And that was, you would like hang out with them all day. It was just wonderful.
Nice, very nice.
Yes.
So will you come back next month or a couple months and do some songs on the show?
If you invite me, I will definitely do that.
We would love to have you come back on.
And this has been great. I got a lot more stories too.
Give me one more story. I think we have a few minutes.
Oh gosh, too many, too many. I won't. I think I've overstayed my welcome.
No, not at all. Well, we're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Very proud to have you. You're our first famous person on the show.
Oh, baloney. Okay, thank you.
Stay tuned for more Venus Perspectives.